Hello and welcome to the Highland Green Discovery Center. My name is William Maypother, and I will be your host for this video tour of the Highland Green building. Recently, you may have heard terms such as green buildings and LEED certification. These terms are part of a larger movement generally called sustainable architecture. The good people who built the Highland Green building and this Discovery Center have assembled a series of videos which will explain sustainable architecture, what it means, what makes these buildings different from those around them, and why sustainable architecture is so important. Let's start the tour with a brief description of these buildings and detail some of the features which make them unique. The most important aspect of the design for any green building is to make it extremely energy efficient. The foundations, walls, windows, and roof have been engineered to keep the outside weather out and the inside temperature in. The foundations are composed of heavily insulated reinforced concrete. The walls are a system of several insulating layers that combined are 16 inches thick. They have a thermal resistance value, or R value, equivalent to R36. The windows are constructed of 2 layers of glass covered with a high-tech coating. These windows reflect most of the sun's radiant heat energy away from the building. Finally, the roof is constructed with a continuous layer of insulation, again with a high R value, which is covered with a white waterproofed membrane that also reflects away the sun's radiant energy. Even the small metal awnings above the second floor windows were specifically designed to reduce heat gain from direct sunlight, while still allowing plenty of natural light into the building. The combination of all this engineering is a very energy efficient building that keeps a comfortable temperature inside without needing much heating or cooling. Hand in hand with the building's energy-efficient shell is another unique and important feature. Namely, these buildings use 2 sources of renewable energy which are produced right here on the property. First, the roof of the main building contains a series of solar panels which transform sunlight directly into usable electric current for the building. These panels, containing soft photovoltaic cells, are designed specifically for flat roofs. Different from traditional flat panel cells, this blanket-like material fastens directly to the roof's surface, allowing wind to pass over it easily. Each panel is connected to a metal track, where a positive and negative wire each feed into a conduit. The conduit runs into the building and directly into the control panel, where the solar energy is distributed throughout the building in the form of electrical power. On some sunny days, the Highland Green building produces even more energy than it uses. It's difficult to store electricity, so that extra energy is delivered to our local power grid, where it's distributed to the buildings nearby. The owner of the Highland Green building gets paid for this extra energy. The second renewable energy source comes from underground. The Highland Green building has a geothermal system to help heat and cool the building. Geo means earth, and thermal means heat. So as you may have guessed, this system harnesses the energy of the Earth's internal heat. Underneath the parking lot are 16 geothermal wells, which extend down 350 feet into the earth. Within each well are long, slender pipes. A fluid circulates through these pipes where the earth is at a constant temperature of 56 degrees. This fluid is then fed to the heaters and air conditioners throughout the buildings, helping make them extremely efficient. In addition to the building's energy-efficient shell and use of 2 renewable energy sources, there are many more green features to the Highland Green buildings. The roof above you contains trays filled with soil, where plants, native to Kentucky, are growing. This vegetative or green roof has many practical benefits: insulating the roof, cooling the building, catching rainwater, providing oxygen, and finally, reducing the heat island effect. The main building includes a rainwater harvesting system, which catches rain streaming off the roof and stores it in tanks, where it is used to irrigate the plants and landscaping around the patio. On the northern and southern exposures of the buildings, there's a wire fence-like system called a green screen. This serves as a sort of trellis, allowing a planted vine to grow up inside it. Over time, the result is a second wall of living vine. In addition to providing a rich source of oxygen, the plants further insulate the walls and make the building even more energy efficient. Because the vines are not attached to the brick, they will not damage the walls. Finally, the vines will bloom in the spring, creating a beautiful wall of flowers. Many of the outdoor ground surfaces are composed of permeable pavers. That is, instead of water running off them, they allow water to pass through them. This helps control stormwater runoff, which can be a serious problem for cities such as Louisville. Stormwater runoff often overwhelms our sewer system, washing pollutants and raw sewage directly into area waterways, like Beargrass Creek. By allowing the rainwater to be absorbed into the ground, instead of being washed into the sewer, the soil underneath the pavers remains an active and living ecosystem. Many of the outdoor surfaces here at the Highland Green building, such as the gray pavers and the all-white roof, were chosen for their light color. These light-colored materials reflect the heat of the sun and help to diminish the heat island effect. The heat island effect, a phenomenon in urban areas, occurs when a cluster of dark-colored buildings and paved surfaces absorb the heat of the sun. This raises the temperature in the surrounding area by as much as 8 degrees. The effect can be diminished by choosing light-colored surfaces, planting vegetation, and using green roofs. The beautiful floors below you and throughout the entire Highland Green building are reclaimed barn wood from an old tobacco barn in Grayson County, Kentucky. In all green buildings, a great deal of thought must be put into every material selected. In the case of these floors, using reclaimed wood not only prevented new trees from being cut, but also meant that the wood was diverted from a landfill. In keeping with the philosophy of sustainable architecture, the selection of materials was based on special criteria. For example, using items with recycled content, using items that were locally sourced, and using items that are sensitive to interior air quality. To minimize energy usage, the building lighting system uses low wattage fixtures and motion sensors, which turn the lights on and off automatically. To minimize water waste, all the restrooms utilize low-flow toilets and sensor-controlled faucets. The Highland Green building also includes features which encourage sustainable transportation: a state-of-the-art electric car charging station, a bike rack, a bus stop right here on the premises, and finally, the building is located in a dense urban area, encouraging good old-fashioned walking. So there you have it. These are some of the main features of the Highland Green buildings. You want to know more? Just select videos on the topics that interest you. By the way, are you wondering about the two bikes to your right? They produce electricity when ridden. Every minute the bike is pedaled generates enough electricity to power the TV for 1 minute. Go ahead, hop on, help make this presentation green. Thank you for visiting the Highland Green Discovery Center.